Colleague, as usual, John Madden. And John, we talked about the immobile quarterbacks. We talked about the new quarterback for the Eagles, Randall Cunningham. What kind of problems does that present to the Giant defense?
Well, I tell you, when you're a Randall Cunningham and you're starting as a rookie in the NFL and you're starting against the New York Giants and Lawrence Taylor and those guys are going to be chasing you all day, you better be able to run. But I don't think we can think that that's all Randall Cunningham does. I mean, he's a big guy. He has a strong arm, a quick release, and he can throw the ball. Now, the problem that he presents for the Giants is when he moves out of the pocket, he starts to run. Now, does the defense come up and let the receivers go, or do they stay back with the receivers and let Cunningham run? He can really, by getting out there, he can really be a threat and put the defense in a bind. So it'll be interesting to see how the Giants act or react to that.
Well, they'll have a good day to react and act because the temperature, the weather conditions are just perfect. Phil McConkey back deep for the Giants. McFadden will kick it off. Remember, McConkey almost killed the Eagles early. McFadden kicks it out of bounds. Getting back to that same, or attempting to get back to that same train of thought. In the opening game, Giant Stadium, McConkey just demoralized the Eagles with so many outstanding kickoff and punt returns. They try to kick the ball away from him then. McConkey still number 80, still deep. Back to the weather again. It is just perfect. Temperature in the low 70s and just a little bit of wind. Not much, not enough to be a factor. Randall Cunningham, who will start at quarterback. Marion Campbell, the Eagle coach, was saying to John Madden and me yesterday, why postpone the inevitable? He knew that, or he felt that Randall Cunningham would be the quarterback of the future, and he thought he might as well get him in there.
You believe that he's relaxed there, Pat? He was saying that last time he went in the game against the Giants in the first game, he said he was too tense, and he's trying to be relaxed for this one.
High and short, and Joe Morris takes it at the 20. And the Eagles special teams are down quickly. Elbert Fowles is down there first. Giant offensive backs and receivers. Sims, the quarterback, Morris, and Rob Carpenter will start at fullback. Bobby Johnson and Lionel Manuel, the wide receivers. Up front, it's Benson, Ard, Oates. Did a good job last week. Godfrey Nelson, and the tight end is the rookie Mark Bavaro. Phil Sims. A very confident Phil Sims. His statistics don't show it, but he's off to a good start again. Goes out of bounds. The Giants will retain possession as Reggie Wilkes came over to make the hit. Let's look at that Eagle defense. The personnel up front. Struthers, Clark, the nose tackle, and Greg Brown, the other defensive end. The linebackers, Wilkes, Reichenbach, Anthony Griggs, and Gary Cobb. In the secondary, and it's a very good, veteran secondary, Young, Edwards, Ellis, and Hopkins. Second and 9. Feel they have to run. Again, that Eagle defense hammers Joe Morris. No gain. That'll make it 3rd and long. This Eagle team, John, was very loose and seemed very confident yesterday in practice.
Well, I think that win against the Redskins last week gave him a lot of confidence. I think it gave him not only confidence in their entire team, but definitely confidence in their rookie quarterback, Randall Cunningham.
Speaking of rookies, Reggie White came out of the USFL, played collegiately at the University of Tennessee, where they said there was nobody around who could block him. He's in to rush the passer. Sims has time. Lionel Manuel. They move close to midfield. Ray Ellis made the hit. A gain of 18 and a Giant first down.
That's the thing that Phil Sims has done so well this year, is be able to stand in the pocket, find his outside receivers. Here's Lionel Manuel. It starts a zone, that double zone. The corner's bumping him. Now he starts to the inside, finds a hole. Sims is able to step up, see Manuel, and hit him for the first down.
Sims had the time he needed. Now they come back running with Morris again. Morris hammers into Eagle territory. A gain of about 5. Mike Reichenbach knocked him down.
One of the things that the Giants want to be able to do is start off and establish that they can run the ball. And, you know, you always hear that, establish a run. Well, what for? So that the defense just doesn't pin their ears back and rush the passer the whole day. So as we see the start here, the first series, that's what the Giants are trying to establish, that they are going to run, and two, that they can run.
That's Byron Williams who moves in motion. Sims gives again tomorrow. Fourth carry already. Just about a yard short of a first down, it appears, as Reichenbach again is on the bottom of the pile. If this looks a little different to those of you who watched our broadcast over the years from Veterans Stadium, the Eagles made up their mind late last year to move to the other side of the field. The Giants in former games always were over there. Now the Eagles are over there, and the Giants are over here. They did it simply for warmth.
Right, and over there gets the sun on a warm day. You don't like that, but on a cold day, I guess you're pretty grateful for it.
Motion, they leave it on the ground, and the Eagles may have it. Maybe Sims got it back. Whatever, it is not going to be a first down.
You know, that's been a problem. Bart Oates is the center for the Giants, and he said, you see how Sims gets his hands way up under there? He said he hasn't been used to a quarterback that got up in there so far under, and sometimes he tends to put the ball back farther, and it went up Sims's arm.
Well, of course, Oates came out of the USFL. He was used to snapping to Chuck Fusina, and Sims is just a little bit different. Oates snaps this time to Landella. High kick, and boy, what a job he's done. That one sails into the end zone. The Eagles will take over at the 20. It was up there 4.7 seconds. A 44-yard punt that went into the end zone. And the Eagles will take over at their own 20. The Eagles nothing. First quarter at Veterans Stadium. Here's the way the Eagles will stack up and start off. Cunningham, the quarterback. Herman Hunter is the lone setback. Jackson and quick to wide receivers. Spagnola, one tight end, and Michael Haddix, who can also run with it, is the other tight end. Up front, it's Allen, Kenny, Dennard, Baker, and Leonard Mitchell. Lone setback this time is Hunter. Handoff to Herman Hunter. Beg your pardon, that's Haddix. He can, as we said, also run with it. Giants play the three-man front, and the three are McGriff, Bird in the middle, and Leonard Marshall. Linebackers, Banks, Reasons, Carson, and Taylor. Secondary, Patterson, Williams on the corners. Kennard, the strong safety, and Ted Watts, the free safety. The Eagles have it, 2nd and 9, their own 21. Ernest Jackson now is the running back. And he is cut down after he picked up a couple by Jim Burt.
That's the thing you have to do. Anytime you're going to run inside, you have to get that nose tackle blocked. Now watch what happens. Here's Burt, and he's able to get penetration in there. You see, when he gets in the backfield, then that tailback doesn't have a place to go. You see, he starts to cut right there. Burt gets off the block, gets the penetration, just as Jackson was cutting.
Jim Burt gets better and better. 3rd and 7. Out of the shotgun is Randall Cunningham. Out of the pocket, he tries to cut. He does. Cunningham off on a run. Slides and dives. It appears he is close to a first down, but not quite there. He might have it. Depends on where they mark it. No, he doesn't have it.
You know, the thing is that, as Bill Parcells was saying, he says, you're not going to stop Cunningham from scrambling. He said the big thing you have to do is when he does scramble, you have to tackle him. Watch Lawrence Taylor miss there. Of course, Cunningham made a miss. Then he was able to get to the outside again, and just here short of the first down. Watch, he gave a big dive. He tried to get it, just couldn't get there.
Michael Horan is the punter, and Phil McConkey is back deep for the Giants. Horan has been very effective. Left-footed. This is a high one. The Eagles should be down in a hurry. McConkey signals fair catch. Major Everett was right in his face. Hang time seconds. It hung up there for 48 yards. Let's check the scoreboard. New England 3 on a field goal of 47 yards by Tony Franklin over the Los Angeles Raiders, and Kansas City leading Seattle 7-0 first quarter. Giants have it first and 10, their own 24. 9:14 left to play first quarter. Hand off to Morris. The Eagle defense comes back again to rise to the occasion. It's Ken Clark. Greg Brown, who lead the Philadelphia defense.
Hey, one thing about the Giants, they're establishing Joe Morris today, aren't they? They're starting off that first quarter. So far, he's run the ball 5 times.
Rob Carpenter again started at fullback. Back there with Morris. And he is still in that position.
Usually you think of establishing, you usually think of a fullback establishing.
2nd and 8. They again give to Morris. Hammered by Greg Brown once again. He got a couple, but that's all. Good tackle by Brown. Now the Giants come in with their shotgun-oriented offense. Tony Galbraith, 3 wide receivers. And the Eagles put in 7 defensive backs. They have 4 down linemen and 7 defensive backs. 3rd and 5. Sims from the shotgun. Has time. Has a receiver. Has a first down. Bobby Johnson hung on. He was hit by Herman Edwards.
You know, one thing I like about that, about Bobby Johnson, is that he got up and he got beyond the first down marker for that first down. So when the pass was completed, the 3rd down pass, he had the first down. You see so often on 3rd down that they leave that thing short of the first down.
That's one of those things that comes with experience. Sims will throw on first down and goes for a bunch. And again he has Bobby Johnson. And again he has a first down. Herman Edwards again the defender. 14-yard gain.
You know, Bobby Johnson, the first 2 games didn't catch a pass. Last week, he caught 2 touchdown passes. Lionel Manuel, the other wide receiver, didn't catch a pass last week. But Bobby Johnson said the biggest thing that did was give me my confidence back. He looks like he's shaking hand. Boom, 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 boom. Love you, Bobby.
Byron Williams has taken his place. Here's Joe Morris. And again, he's hit hard, this time by Wes Hopkins. And 2 or 3 other defenders. Greg Brown, there's a penalty marker downfield, way downfield on the other side of the field. I didn't see what happened.
But it was right by Herman Edwards and Lionel Manuel. And I'm sure that Herman Edwards, number 46, the Eagles' right corner, I'm sure that he gave Manuel a punch at the end of that play.
Tom Dooley is the referee, and he'll tell us.
Personal foul, 43 White, first down.
Called against Roynell Young.
It was on the other side, and it was right in front of Herman Edwards. Roynell Young was on this side where the guy threw it. He threw it right where Herman Edwards was.
Case perhaps of mistaken identity. Marion Campbell looking on, the Swamp Fox, the Eagle coach, played here for so many years. Byron Williams comes in motion. The handoff is to Carpenter. Carpenter hammers over the left side, gets close to the Eagle 30. Pickup of perhaps 2, no more than that.
Of course, Rob Carpenter missed the first 2 games of the season, played last week. That's what he did. He ran the ball 6 times, and I know that after the game he felt pretty good because it was kind of a test that he passed on his knee, and that's why he's starting today.
2nd down, about 8, a little bit longer than 8, maybe 9. Sims fakes to Morris, looks downfield, has time, finally is chased. He's got some room. Sims has got a lot of room. Phil Sims to the 2. Ray Ellis finally knocked him down. There's an Eagle injured in the end zone. Sims scrambling for 19 yards.
Phil Sims, you talk about your running quarterback. I can show you a running quarterback. He starts a play fake here. Now, he had pretty good protection, and then he starts to feel it from his right side. The pocket collapses on him, forces him really out to the left side. When he starts out here to the left side, he said, look, there's no white jerseys out here except the one. We'll get that blocked. I could darn near get in the end zone.
First and goal, Giants.
What happens? You know, this is why you have to have your end contained. Greg Brown starts here. Now as the play fake comes this way, he comes in. Now there's no one up the field. So Phil Simms sees this and starts to scramble to the left. But watch your right defensive end out there. See, he's okay there. Now he starts here. See him start to run in here. Now stop it right there. Now what happens, there's all their guys are here. No one contained out here. And that's where Phil Simms runs 28 yards. So there's no contain on that back side. There's no one to keep him inside, so he sees it and runs it down to the 2.
Roynell Young is the injured Eagle. They just brought a stretcher out on the field for Roynell. He's had a tough couple of years. That, by the way, that run of 28 yards that John Madden just showed you is the longest run of Phil Simms' career. When is the last time you saw a quarterback just lower his shoulder and take on a defender?
I think last week. I think it was Phil Simms again. Didn't he do that as he was going into the end zone there? You know, as you talk about Roynell Young and his injury last year, he missed just about the whole season. He had an abdominal pull, and every time he would, you know, come out and think it was better, he would re-injure it.
Roynell Young, who is indeed a fine player.
He was one of the guys that Marion Campbell there was really counting on this year, you know, to make the team better because they didn't have him last year, and having a healthy Roynell Young made him a lot better defense.
Albert Fowles has taken his place. First and goal, Giants from the 3. George Adams. Perhaps a half yard, no more.
Reggie White in there. We talked about him. Just signed with the Eagles last week. Active for the first time this week. Took 2 months off after the season. Marion Campbell said, I hope he's been doing some running because he's going to be doing some playing. Weighs now over 290 pounds.
6'5", and he is going to be an outstanding player if he isn't already. Bill Parcells and Marion Campbell. Enemies but friends. Adams to about the 1. Fumble? Perhaps. The Eagles say they have it. The officials haven't said they do yet. Yeah, now they do. Reyes comes out with it. They dodge a bullet.
They do, and they do it by playing good, strong goal line defense. But this is what, as a coach, I always worried about a rookie player, is letting him have the ball on the goal line. I always like that veteran guy because there's always going to be a bunch of bodies in there. Guys are going to be grabbing the ball, knocking it out, and you need that veteran guy, you know, who can cinch it up, put it away, so that it can't get popped out when he's jumping over the pile. Like happens to George Adams there.
Cunningham from his own end zone. Gets rid of it in the direction of Quick. Almost. Mike Quick almost. And Cunningham was blitzed hard by Terry Kennard, the strong safety who almost got there for an NFL update. Let's go back to our New York studio, and Brent Money is that he has that same abdominal problem that he had last year, a groin problem, and it is doubtful as to whether he'll be able to come back. Ernest Jackson is the ball carrier for Philadelphia, running out of the end zone, starting out of the end zone. Got maybe a yard, not much more, as Jim Burt made the stop.
Ernest Jackson had a big running day for the Eagles last week. He gained 80 yards, and of course, a year ago, he was with the San Diego Chargers, and he was a leading ground gainer in the AFC. Surprised a lot of people when he was traded here for a draft choice.
He got over 1,200 yards.
Stuff when you lead the league, and the next year you're traded for a draft choice, you say, what?
3rd and 9. In the shotgun, Cunningham, have stayed in bounds, it would have been a foot race to the other end zone.
Well, he caught him in a zone, and it was between the short man and the deep man. We said that about Cunningham. He said, hey, he just doesn't run. He can throw the ball. But you see the zone, they start there, they bump the short man, and then Hunter comes to the outside. There's a deep defender back here, and he catches it between the short defender and the deep defender.
Barry Williams took the inside bite, and before he could get back, Hunter was on the outside. Jackson replaces Hunter. 1st and 10 Eagles. They're at their own 35. 2 yards. Jackson.
You know, that's a thing that a Randall Cunningham does, Pat, and I think it can affect the pass rush. You start to worry so much about his running that you get too cautious as a rusher. And the next thing you know, he's standing back there in the end zone with all the time in the world, and he's able to hit those guys deep as he just did.
2nd and 8. Cunningham whips it out to Maddox. Maddox to about the 41. Harry Kennard made the first hit. He picked up 4. It'll bring up another 3rd down situation.
One of the things that Randall Cunningham said, he said that he wanted to be relaxed. He said he was so tense the last time he played against the Giants. Everyone was talking about Lawrence Taylor this, Lawrence Taylor that. He said all I was doing was watching out for Taylor, and I forgot to look for my receiver. So today he said, I'm not going to worry about Lawrence Taylor.
Giants go with 5 defensive linemen now, and Lawrence Taylor in the middle. Watch him and see if he blitzes. Here he comes. Cunningham to Quick. Just overthrew him. Quick was open. Elvis Patterson, the defender.
This is a new look for the Giants on defense. Jim Burt hit Cunningham. But look, here's the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're going to bring them all. Now here's Lawrence Taylor in the middle. He comes, brings 6. The guy that got there was Jim Burt. You see the 5 defensive linemen, they line up on every guy. Here comes Burt. He goes right by Dennard as they start to pick up Lawrence Taylor, and there's Burt whapping Cunningham just as he throws it.
That probably caused him to overthrow it. Horan is the kicker. The left footer doesn't get all of this one. McConkey handles it at the 25. The Eagles are there quickly. Excellent coverage by the Eagles. David Little was down there. 34-yard punt by Horan. Still the score is 0-0. Well, and John Madden at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. The Giants 0. The Eagles 0. First and 10 Giants from their own 29. That's Morris. He gets about 5 over the left side. Greg Brown on the stop. Raiders on an interception touchdown by Lester Hayes have taken the lead over New England 7-3. Minnesota 7-0 over Buffalo. Touchdown pass by Tommy Kramer. Kansas City 14-zip over Seattle. Here it's 2nd and 4. Tampa Bay leading Detroit 3-0. Sims to Morris. Morris has the first down at the 40, but a penalty marker comes flying down. Wes Hopkins made the stop, and that's that holding area.
That's the holding. When they throw it there where those offensive and defensive linemen hang around, they throw that flag in that area. It's usually going to be holding against the offense.
Holding, 65 offense, 2nd down.
Ball against the center. Bart Oates.
There he is, right in there in the middle. Now, he has a tough thing. Watch, he has to snap the ball with his right hand and then still get that same hand up there and hold. So he got the right hand and the left hand around him. I think they caught the left hand. Then they just throw the flag right at him. So you get holding, and then the flag hits you in the helmet.
A takedown and a pin by Bart Oates. 2nd down. Back to throw. Has the time he needs. Bobby Johnson, the intended receiver, and he comes up with a diving catch. Herman Edwards, the defender.
Well, they're going to say he was out of bounds, but it was still good practice. It was still a heck of a catch by Bobby Johnson. Yeah, I mean, that's catching in a crowd. You see, you're catching it on their sideline. There's the whole sidelines there. Now, both feet were in bounds, but I don't think the ball was in bounds, nor do I think he caught the ball. I think it hit the ground.
I think the ball did hit the ground. When
He's arguing, and he's arguing his feet were in. They were.
NYGvPHI1985wk4 is standing back next to Sims now. They go out of the shotgun. Sims fires. Complete to Manuel. First down, Giants. Andre Waters was the defender. He gets all the way up to the Giant 47, a gain of 23.
I tell you, Lionel Manuel has really become the third down clutch receiver, I think, for Phil Simms. Bill Parcells was saying that he caught some big passes for Simms, and now Simms really has confidence in him. You can always tell the guy they have confidence when they have that third and long, the guy they go to get him to the first down.
Simms will throw now on first down. Gets it outside to Maurice Cartman. He is close to another first down. Ray Ellis made the stop. The Giants able to move the ball in the first quarter, but no points as yet.
But, you know, had they not had that fumble down there, of course, they would have had some points the way they're moving it. But the one thing that impresses me about Phil Simms, and is causing a problem right here for Marion Campbell, because he's signaling in the defense, is that Phil Simms is moving the ball around. His wide receivers, his backs, run, pass, good play calling.
To Morris. Another first down. Gary Cobb, number 50, made the stop for the Eagles. They got him, you'll recall, in the trade with the Lions for Wilbert Montgomery, who had so many great years here in Philadelphia. That's the end of the first quarter. Giants are at the Eagle 42. The score is still 0-0. Quarter statistics, and you wouldn't think it's a 0-0 game. The Giants in total yards have 127 to the Eagles 47. They have 7 first downs to the Eagles 1.
The only thing that does tell the story in there is there's 1 turnover to none, and that's the Giants turning the ball over on the goal line.
That was the fumble on the exchange. Not necessarily on the exchange. It was when Adams tried to go over the top. Joe Morris is split wide to the left. Cartman is the lone setback. This is a little bit different look. Simms, intended for Manuel, batted away at the last second by Herman Edwards.
Hey, that was a heck of a play by Herman Edwards, because it looked like he was beaten by a step or two, and right at the end, look, he just extends himself and gets that left hand in there and knocks the ball down. And then after that, man, you know, I always said, if you're not going to catch the ball, you're going to get hit anyway, so you may as well catch it. See what happened to Manuel? He got the ball knocked down by Edwards, and he darn near got something else knocked off by the other linebacker.
I think it was Bobby Johnson. At the end, I saw Manuel come into the picture. I think it was Johnson. Here's Morris. You know who that is. Now, there's another penalty marker down. 2 of them down. Reichenbach holding against the Giants.
One thing about this Eagle defense, and Phil Simms said it last week, he said, every time we play them, he said, you know, they'll bend a little, but they don't give you anything. They said they're one of the toughest defenses that they play against all year.
Holding,
Excuse me.
87, offense, second down.
Byron Williams. Sometimes I think, and you know certainly better than I, John, that you get so enamored, coaches do, with here's what our game plan is, we have to establish this, and you forget about what really works.
Well, you know, and especially when you play someone, you know, twice every year, and they have the same coaching staff, you remember, you know, what worked, what didn't work, and sometimes, you know, you think, well, it worked last time, it won't work this time, so you don't do it.
You overanalyze yourself. Here's Simms back to throw. He has some time, now he comes out of the pocket, and now he's caught. Just gets into Eagle territory, cut down by Greg Brown.
Reggie Wilkes was coming flying across that field for Simms. You know, one thing a defensive player does is when he sees a quarterback run, kind of gives him a free shot. And Wilkes can fly. He said, there's one open there. He said, I'm going to go get a quarterback, and he did.
Adams and Tony Galbraith. into the Giant offensive picture, and Sims moves back into the spread. Chase and down is Phil Sims. Ken Clark, number 71. Sims is holding his right hand. It doesn't appear that anything is seriously wrong. Let's look at the rush.
I think he really didn't get an opening. The Eagles go to a 4-man rush in this situation. They go to 7 defensive backs. They run a stunt. We're going to see Reggie White was really the first guy there. Ken Clark the second guy.
Yeah! The punt by Vendetta is a good one. And out of bounds. The Eagles will take over at about their own 13-yard line. He's done a good job. 46-yard punt and no return. It's still 0-0. First and 10 from the 13. Maurice Carthen appears to have a hamstring problem where he's being taped. By the way, the word on Roynell Young is that it was a going pool, not related to that injury he had last year. Here go the Eagles. That's Ernest Jackson over the left side. He got about 5. For an NFL update, let's take you again back to New York at Brent Musburg. 13:06 left to play in the first half here. The Eagles have the ball. They give it back to Jackson again. And Jackson is hammered and hammered hard. With the pursuit from the backside, Lawrence Taylor and Jim Burt converge. Not enough for a first down. He gets out to about the 20. It'll be 3rd and 3 over on the sideline. And you have to admire him. That's Ron Jaworski, who began the year as the Eagle quarterback.
As I said, he's been a real good influence on Randall Cunningham, that he works with him during the week in practice and during the game. Every time he comes off, he talks to him in the sideline. He said everyone feels he's really helped Cunningham.
3rd and 3 from the spread formation. Cunningham gets it to Spagnola. The Eagles will move the sticks. That's his second first down of the day, a gain of 11. Andy Hedden.
Yeah, the thing about Cunningham is he's also 6'4". So you see him back here in the shotgun. He can stand up there. He can stand tall now. He can see that whole thing. You see, he can find that zone, find Spagnola right in the middle there.
That throwing motion he has, John, right over the top. Makes it a little bit more difficult to knock it down, too.
Well, you know, he looks like a pitcher. You know, that fastball pitcher that comes directly over him.
Jackson with room, and Jackson hurdles up to outside the 45. Ted Watts tripped him up, or he would have been gone. A pickup of 16.
See, the first thing these running backs do when they get up after they make a nice run or a long run is they thank their offensive line and say, you guys did it. You made a hole back there on that left side so I could cut back right there between the guard and the tackle. That was the hole that I needed. Just get me in that opening, and I'll pick up first downs for you.
The Eagles got some breathing room with that 16-yard gain. It's a first down. They give it again to Jackson. This time, not much room. He struggles for perhaps a yard before Burt takes him down along with Gary Reasons. Carl Banks was the first man to hit him and turn him back upfield.
The guy that did a nice job on the run before that was a rookie #1 draft choice, Kevin Allen. You know, Kevin Allen had such a difficult time in that first time against the Giants, trying to block Leonard Marshall, but he's doing a pretty good job today.
2nd and 9. Jackson. Ooh, again. He was almost gone. Harry Carson got him by the ankles, but Jackson almost was looking for the pay dirt.
And then he started to look for the sideline. It looked like he may have gotten a foot or an ankle, but watch this blocking here. That's that old Redskin play where they cross the guards and tackles. They get that offside out in front of him, and it looked like right at the end of the play, he may have twisted his ankle or foot.
Jackson is out there looking at if it is a possible injury. Herman Hunter is taking his place. Appears to be an Eagle first down. Harry Carson again on the bottom of the pile. It's going to be close.
I'll tell you one thing, so far this Eagle offensive line is doing a lot better job than they did 3 weeks ago against this Giant defense.
Ted Marsha-Bruta over on the other sideline. Terry Kennard, I see back in the back of the Giant defense, clapping his hands, so they didn't make it. On comes the punting unit, much to the dismay of the sellout crowd.
Well, a little to the dismay of me, too. I think once you're inside the 50 and you have a young team like this, that this is a good thing to go for. It's easy for me to say. You play with someone else's chip, but I think with this type of Eagle team, that wouldn't be a bad move.
Major Everett, who's one of the best in the league on the special teams, is split out wide to the right. Our information is that when he does that, that's the way they'll kick. Then he goes the other way. Kick to McConkey. McConkey did a good job to hang on to him. Now he's complaining that they interfered with his opportunity to make a fair catch. Andre Waters was down there. Again, the Eagle fans don't like that decision, and the score remains 0-0. Stadium, Pat Summerall and John Madden. Here's what's happened on New York Giants' first down play selection.
Well, it just shows if they run more on first down than they do pass, that they win games.
So far, they've run 7 times and thrown it 3 times on first down. Nothing doing on this one. For an NFL update again, let's go back to New York, and here's Brent Musburger. 0-0 here in Philadelphia. Giants have the ball, 2nd and 9 as Sims goes back to throw and does throw behind Maurice Carpin out of the backfield. Apparently it was not a hamstring problem that they were taping. While we have a minute and they can regroup, let's run down some of the other scores. The Raiders over New England 14-10 now. Mark Wilson, a touchdown pass to Dokie Williams. Minnesota 7-0 over Buffalo. That's the same. 7-0 Green Bay losing to St. Louis. Earl Farrell scored on a 12-yard run. Kansas City 14-0 over Seattle. A bit of a surprise. Tampa Bay and Detroit 3-3. Eddie Murray's field goal for the Lions just tied it. Sims out of the spread. The Eagles on a blitz. Sims is down. Tim Clark and Reggie White together.
That was interesting here. This is 8 defensive backs this time. They only have 3 linemen here, but the guy that they bring is one of the defensive backs, and he's the guy that gives the problem there. But they had 8 defensive backs, only 3 defensive linemen, but they did come on a blitz.
Landeta standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. The Eagles had a big rush on. Fair catch by Evan Cooper. And the Eagles will take it over at their own 48. Sellout crowd at Veterans Stadium. And I'm sure there'll be a sellout crowd there as Michigan State goes to Iowa to play the Hawkeyes. That'll be on CBS next Saturday, 2:30 Eastern Time. Michigan State won yesterday, and so did Iowa. They beat Iowa State 57-3. Many feel the Iowa Hawkeyes are the best team in the country. Ernest Jackson is back, so apparently nothing was wrong. He probably just got a little tired. He carried the ball in that last series 4 times in a row. Fake is to Jackson. Cunningham is down from Leonard Marshall.
Well, that's the first sack of Cunningham today. Jackson's first. Again, he's working over there. Right here, we see Leonard Marshall, and here's the rookie Kevin Allen, who has to block him. In the first game, Marshall gave Allen all kinds of problems. This is the first time he did today. You see, he starts into him, he gets his shoulders turned, he just gets him pushed back. He just pushed him back and knocked him down after he got his shoulders turned.
Jackson cuts back inside, gets maybe 2, not back to the original line of scrimmage. It was Lawrence Taylor and Gary Reasons who tripped him up.
I figured before this game that one of the things the Eagles had to do today was get Leonard Marshall and Lawrence Taylor blocked. If you think back to that first one, those guys were a 2-man gang over there, and they had a tough time. But today they seem to have them controlled a little better, or much better.
Well, they have one sack. Here's Cunningham on a sprint out. He gets some time like that, or almost gets some time. He is hammered again by Marshall and by George Martin, who limps off.
Yeah, that's what Bill Parcells said. He said the way to play this thing is that you flatten out on the side that he rolls to, and then watch from behind. You chase him from behind, still getting upfield. You see, you flatten out here, come down the line. Now from that backside, stay upfield and chase him. That's exactly what Leonard Marshall did. Don't get even with him. Don't get in front of him where he can cut back, but stay upfield on him.
Michael Horan, number 2. Back to punt for Philadelphia, left-footed. And Phil McConkey back deep for the Giants. Giants try to block it and almost got it. Flag is down. Horan was knocked down. The penalty marker's down, and Horan is limping.
I don't think there is a penalty marker down.
No, there isn't.
I don't see one down there. I think Horan wanted one down there. You see, now, if he gets touched where he's up in the air, no, that's illegal. That's roughing the kicker. That was Gary Reason's. I don't know why they didn't call that. Things say he was blocked into him. Baloney. That's a penalty.
25-yard punt, no penalty. It's still 0-0. Nothing, Philadelphia, nothing. Crowd still booing because they thought Horan was rough. Here's Carpenter over the right side for a yard. Let's go back and look at that punt again.
You know what the official said on that, Pratt, is Reason's is right here. They said now when he came in here that he tipped the ball. Now if he touches the ball, then he can hit the punter. So they said that right there, just as it was punted, he tipped it, so now all the protection is off. I don't know if he got that left hand on it or not.
That's the punter, Michael Horan, who's still down over on the sideline after that hit. Here come the Eagles on a blitz. Sims lost the football. The Eagles say they have it, but we have to wait. Wes Hopkins on the blitz, and yes, sir, Philadelphia ball. Watch this move by Hopkins.
Well, you see, he's right up there. He's right next to the center. You see, as he stepped, that could have gotten Bart Oates to either short arm it or long arm it. Hopkins is in there, and he just knocks the ball down with his left hand.
Greg Brown made the recovery. Hopkins came up as if he was going to blitz, then he backed off, and then he came back on the blitz and knocked the ball loose.
He got his hand in there. That's being alert on the blitz.
First down, Eagles at the Giant 33. Ernest Jackson, the lone setback. And the handoff is to Jackson, and he nudges over the right side for perhaps 2. Philadelphia's first 4 possessions, they started at their own 20, their own 2, their own 13, and their own 48 every time they had a punt. Now, they're at the Giant 30. The situation changes considerably. Word on the Eagle punter, Horan, is that he's okay. Here's Jackson. Nothing. Leonard Marshall was the first man to hit him. Curtis McGriff was also there.
Well, the backside, or the side away from where Jackson started, is doing a good job on this Giant defense, because what Jackson's trying to do is start to the right side and cut back to the left. And that right defensive side is holding in there Leonard Marshall. And the other guy that did a good job was the nose tackle, was Jerome Salley, of holding that backside.
Now the Giants will show them a 4-man front, 4-man rush. Cunningham back to throw. Coming free, blowing right up the middle. Here's Jerome Salley again.
They got a good rush right in here from the 2 tackles, and they've just started right up the middle, and that's the place to put the pressure. Watch him here. You see, there goes Marshall. I don't think anyone blocked him.
Didn't.
He started from the outside. Salley started from the left, took an inside stunt, and went right by him.
The blocker who could have and would have picked up Jerome Salley up the middle, picked up Lawrence Taylor, who's coming on the blitz. Here's the punter, Michael Horan. This one out of bounds at about the Giants' 17, 16. outside the 15. That's where the Giants will start. The Eagles can't take advantage of that turnover. Next Sunday, CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League will continue. Of course, most of you will see the defending Super Bowl champion San Francisco 49ers take on the Atlanta Falcons, while others will see either the Philadelphia Eagles against the New Orleans Saints or the Minnesota Vikings against the Los Angeles Rams. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. Don't discount Atlanta. They have given the 49ers some tough times over the years. By the way, that's where John Madden and I will be next week.
It's always interesting to watch those 49ers, too. You know, they got off to that start by getting beaten by Minnesota.
We'll be there next week for the rematch. Joe Morris breaks one tackle, breaks another tackle, gets a Giant first down. 17 yards on a pass completion from Sims to Morris out of the backfield.
That's why tackling is so important. You know, Anthony Griggs was over there. He had him and just missed the tackle.
Sims on first down. Flushed out of the pocket. Knocked away at the last minute. Intended for McConkey. Knocked down by Elbert Fowles, who has replaced Roynell Young, injured earlier.
You know, one thing about these Eagle backs is even though Fowles is in there for Roynell Young, they get a lot of experience because they play so much defensive backs. It's not like Fowles hasn't played a lot. I mean, he's been playing. He's every game. He's in there. He's covering on third downs. So I think that's an advantage to this 7 defensive backs and 8 defensive backs. When you get a backup playing, he's been playing a lot.
Keep everybody involved. It's part of that theory. Daniel in motion. Morris on the counter play. Some room to the outside, and he cuts back near the 40. Wes Hopkins made the stop, and he'll make a lot of them.
Well, you know, when you talk about hitters in this league, I think you have to put Wes Hopkins up there at the top. I mean, he is one of the best tacklers, one of the toughest tacklers in the NFL right now. And I'll tell you, he just has a nose for that ball. I mean, he gets a feeling you're going to run. Wes Hopkins is going to be around there hitting things.
6'1" and 210. So you can stand the hitting.
That's a pretty good load for a safety.
Third down, 4 at the 39. Sims on the draw play. Got him. Nothing doing. Reggie White all over it from the beginning. That was a special play.
Yeah, but they didn't work against Reggie White. Watch him. He's over the center. The center starts to block to the left. The guard's coming down, and White just splits it and gets in the backfield. That's not a bad start for a guy playing his first NFL game.
I don't think that play will be special anymore.
No, especially not when Reggie White's in there. He doesn't know to read all those things. He hasn't seen what they've done before.
Here's Landetta with Evan Cooper back deep for the Eagles. No rush this time, and he gets off a rock. Cooper's going to let it go, and the Giants are down in good shape. Byron Hunt down to Downing. That kick stayed up there 4.5 seconds and traveled 67 yards. Landetta already leads the NFC in punting, and he's helping that situation right now. 0-0. 2:03 left in the first half between the Giants and the Eagles. Coming up at the half, Brendan Irv with the scores and highlights of happenings around the NFL, and Tom Brookshire on the judgment call. I can't think of anyone better qualified to do an analysis on a judgment call than Tom Brookshire.
Well, he's been down there in the sidelines and on the field and up in the booth, and he's seen it from all angles. He knows whether it's good or bad.
He sure has. Down goes Cunningham underneath Leonard Marshall, and that's the 4th sack by the Giants. They got to get him blocked.
Well, they had the problem. The last time it was Marshall and Sally. This time it's Marshall again, just taking an inside move on Kevin Allen. He just out-quicked him on that play. Took that inside and boom, just right up the middle on Cunningham.
0-0 0-0 still. 2 minutes to go first half.
For Kevin Allen blocking Leonard Marshall, takes an inside move because Steve Kenny, the left guard, blocks down, which makes a big hole in there. But you see the left guard blocks down in the nose tackle. Marshall just takes that gap, and he's right up in Cunningham's face.
And we come back at 2nd and 18. Cunningham is back in the end zone again, going deep for Mike Quick. The double coverage is there. Elvis Patterson and Ted Watts both converge. It was a good throw and a long one.
It was out of the end zone. It was all the way past the 50-yard line, and it was pretty accurate. It was right there. Quick did get a hand on it. He got his right hand on it, but it was good coverage by the free safety, Ted Watts, in the corner, Elvis Patterson.
Garrity comes in. Greg Garrity it is on 3rd and 18. The Eagles will probably go with 3 wide receivers here.
This is a tough time. They have to watch out for the sack, and I wouldn't be surprised if they run. Because if they get sacked or if they have a penalty in the end zone, that's 2 points.
Gonna throw it. He's not going to get sacked. He's not going to get the first down either. Fumble and a flag. The Giants got the fumble, but the penalty flag is down.
And I'll bet you it's going to be on the Giants and on Lawrence Taylor, because as he came there to tackle, and you can see it's on Taylor, as he came to tackle Cunningham from behind, I think they're going to call him for that right arm ripping. Now Taylor's picking up the flag and throwing it down. But he swung his right arm. I'm sure they're going to call on him for clubbing Cunningham in the head.
There goes his helmet, way behind the Giant bench. Lawrence is peeved.
Disregard the flag on the tackle. There is no foul. Unsportsmanlike, 56 on the blue, throwing the helmet.
Holy moly, but if they disregard the thing, then they should disregard the reaction. He's reacting to a play that they said isn't there, but watch him come in here at the end and watch him swing his right arm. It looked like he was doing something, but he didn't. They fumbled. They said it was on him. He reacted to it. They said it wasn't a penalty, but they still penalized him for the reaction to it. That's absurd.
You don't react to something you don't do.
If you didn't do it, then you can't be guilty for reacting to it. I know that he's so upset, that he hasn't so much. I think what they thought is that club hit him in the head, but it didn't. It hit him in the shoulder.
That's a heavy ruling there. Eagles get the first down. Cunningham has another shot at him. And throws deep. Jackson. Kenny Jackson. Another penalty marker is down. Lawrence Taylor strolling back into the game. The flag was down near the quarterback. Let's see what happened. Holding against Philadelphia. Let's make things even.
Well, they gave 15. They took away from him. Then they're giving him back 10. Well, it's more. It's about 10 plus a 10-yard completion, so they're giving back 20 here. That was a late call.
Holding, 26 offense, first down.
That was a late call. It was against Michael Haddix, but it was right about the time Cunningham threw it, or just after Cunningham threw it.
For a 0-0 game, this has been exciting, especially this last series.
Yeah, now Lawrence Taylor's back in there. He got his helmet back. The flags are picked up. 1st and 20. He's still trying to get that thing buttoned up the way it's supposed to.
Just to show you how good an athlete he is, he threw his helmet about 60 yards.
And he can't get the chin strap to work on it now. You got to get that thing buttoned up a little. Because if you don't, just go boom, just go flying right off your head.
The reason for this delay is something happened to the clock, and they are readjusting that situation right now.
Maybe Lawrence Taylor's helmet hit it.
Could be.
Boom! The clock was watching that call, and it couldn't understand it, and the clock just went wacky.
2nd second quarter score. That was a touchdown pass from White to Newsom. 7-0 Dallas over Houston. New England still leading the Raiders 20-14. Minnesota 13-3 over Buffalo. St. Louis over Green Bay 16-0. Otis Anderson just scored a touchdown. Here in Philadelphia at Veterans Stadium, it's 0-0. Cunningham for Jackson. Here comes the flag. Harry Williams was the defender.
Of course, that's that new rule. The reason they're going to get Williams here, if he looks back towards the quarterback, that wouldn't have been interference. He didn't turn his head. He went right into
D50 pass interference.
and that's pass interference
23
all the way.
defense. First down.
First down, Eagles. A minute and 23 seconds left to play in the first half. 21-yard penalty at gain on that play. Minnesota 13-3 over Buffalo, second quarter. Kansas City still over Seattle 14-0. Tampa Bay 6-3 over Detroit. Nothing but field goals. And the Bears have just scored on a pass from Peyton to the quarterback McMahon.
Same play Dallas did a week ago.
Right. Here's Randall Cunningham coming out of the pocket. Gets away. Loses a shoe. Almost lost a foot. Is finally taken down by Andy Hedden.
Andy Hedden made a great play on that. Watch this. As he comes in here, he's going to come from Cunningham's left side. Now watch him. He comes flying in here. Cunningham is setting up. He's looking, but watch Hedden right there. It looked like it was being held, knocked over, grabbed a foot on Cunningham, then bounced up, and he's still going to be in here at the end to finish him off as Cunningham tries to cut back. They just didn't give him any place to go.
The ever-present Leonard Marshall was there again. Hedden caused the confusion. Giants 5 sacks, Philadelphia 2 sacks. Brent Nerve will bring you up to date on all the scores and highlights at the half. And Tom Brookshire will report on the NFL instant replay issue. Is a judgment call good enough? It better be.
Well, they had that one here they're going to talk. I mean, how you can call something and say that it was a missed call and then penalize a reaction to it. Someplace they got to take the blame. Hey, we fouled up, so I get, if we can foul up, maybe it's okay for you to foul up. When you say we fouled up, it doesn't count, but yours does. I don't know.
Judgment.
I wonder if Brookshire is going to talk about that.
I imagine he will. Cunningham to Haddix. Michael Haddix gets to about the Giant 48, and he takes off. Trying to get out of bounds, doesn't make it. Clock still runs as Elvis Patterson cut him down. He couldn't find anything. That's one thing. When you play a rookie quarterback, no matter how mobile he is, he just is not able to pick up those secondary receivers. Both teams back from the locker room sessions and ready to go in the second half. Nothing the score. Interesting statistics. The Philadelphia Eagles pass distribution. Randall Cunningham, of course, the rookie quarterback. No passes completed to wide receivers. He's thrown a couple of long shots at both Quick and Jackson. The Giant defense has allowed 2 completions to wide receivers in the last 2 weeks. So that speaks pretty well for Elvis Patterson and Terry Williams.
And Elvis Patterson is the guy that everyone seems to go into the game. They're going to work on him. They know that Mark Haynes, probably their best defensive back, has been a holdout all camp. And, the guy replacing him, they think the weak link is Elvis Patterson. But Patterson just kind of stays back there and goes through it. And no one's been able to take advantage of him yet.
So the Eagles will get the ball first in half number 2 with a score tied at 0-0. Jess Atkinson will kick it off, number 12 for the Giants. Herman Hunter and Evan Cooper back deep. It's Herman Hunter. Terry Kennard comes over and takes him out of bounds. Herman Hunter got outside the 20, about the get over there that quickly. Now he'll stay on defense. That's strong safety.
That's one thing about the Giants. You know, a lot of teams won't use their starters on special teams, and everyone says how important special teams are, but the Giants do something about it. They keep their best players on there. You'll see a Kennard on there. You'll see a Lawrence Taylor on there. You see these guys on special teams covering.
Eagles ball, their own 24. Randall Cunningham, quarterback. Ernest Jackson, the ball carrier. Jackson out to about the 30.
You know, that play there, excuse me, Pat, is a way that you do give a rookie offensive tackle some help. He's getting a big pass rush over there from Leonard Marshall. So what they do is they give Kevin Allen a draw to his side. Let Marshall take off on that pass rush and run inside him. Watch it here in the left. Watch Marshall see him take off up the field, and boom, they just go whack right inside him.
A gain of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4. Jackson again. Nowhere. Marshall stayed that time. Jim Burt helped him.
Well, Marshall was probably upset on that first play because he figures that they took advantage of him, they fooled him a little, and the next thing he said, I'm going to stay at home where I belong.
Number 70, Leonard Marshall, has a lot of talent. Very strong, big, good feet, can run. For a while. 3rd down. Cunningham looking upfield and has John Spagnola for the 1st down. Stopped by Elvis Patterson. 10-yard gain, and the Eagles move the sticks.
I think, again, we see here from the shotgun, and we see Cunningham looking. Again, that 6'4" helps you find that tight end in the middle of the zone. That's the 2nd time he's completed that same pass on 3rd down.
Spagnola is also 6'4". The Eagles have the ball at their own 43-yard line. 1st and 10. Haddix and Jackson behind Cunningham. Again, it's Jackson. And again, that same play. Straight ahead. Carson on the bottom of the pile tackled him, but he got about 6 again.
One thing about Ernest Jackson, when he starts from that I formation, he's always looking for the cutback. That time it was there. You can't give this guy a soft spot away from the side he's running.
5'9" and 206. Those are the dimensions on Ernest Jackson. Kenny Jackson is split wide to the left, and Mike Quick is out to the right. Bounces close to a first down. Didn't quite get it, but it'll be 3rd and short.
I'll tell you, on that one, the left guard of the Eagles, Steve Kenny, really fired out. It looked like from up here that he was offside. You talk about a guy getting off with the snap. He really does. And then Ernest Jackson's right in behind him. Once right next to the center, the left guard. You see him there, how quickly he got out there in the linebacker? And then here comes Jackson right in that same hole that Kenny vacated.
That was a key block.
I tell you, that was a good takeoff.
He did get it. Bill Parcells concerned, very concerned. We talked to him yesterday about this game.
Right, and I think one of the things he's concerned with now is they had trouble with the right side of the defense, the Eagles did. So to keep it at home, it looks like they're going to work that left side of their offense, right side of the Giant defense.
Jackson again. Before that carry, he had 15 attempts and picked up 61 yards. That was attempt number 16, and he got about 4 more. Leonard Marshall on the bottom of the pile.
Did you see that Michael Haddix, the motion guy, comes by? Now, as he comes by, he taps the quarterback in the back, so then Cunningham knows where he is to snap the ball. These are the little things that go on before the ball snap. That's it. We can sit. See, here comes Haddix in motion. Now watch him. He'll tap Cunningham there, and that means the ball that I'm by you. Snap the ball now, because you don't want it to be snapping when he's going by.
Here's Cunningham back to throw if he has time, when he does, and it's Spagnola. John Spagnola inside the Giant 30. Elvis Patterson, the defender, but the tight end got another Eagle 1st down.
couple pretty good moves there by John Spagnuolo. He makes one right off the bat on Gary Reason. Then he does a little spin to pick up a few more yards. Watch there. Reason's fell down. He's trying to cover him. Then he gives a little spin right there. You see, he hits Patterson, gives a spin, gets a couple more yards.
16-yard gain. He weighs 240. First and 10 Eagles. They're inside the Giant 30 at the 28. It's Jackson again. Over the left side and taken down by Harry Carson. Maybe a yard, no more.
You know, that's one of the things you always worried about as a coach. You always thought about, if you have a good side of your line, do you run at it to keep them home, to calm them down, or do you run away from them? I think it's interesting here that the Eagles have decided to run at it. Run at Leonard Marshall, run at Lawrence Taylor, make them stay in there and take you on.
Well, the theory on that, of course, one of the theories is that keeps them from chasing you down from behind. Here's Jackson again inside the 25 to about the 24. Jim Burt made that stop. Marion Campbell said yesterday, as you look at Ron Jaworski, almost got him backwards, didn't I? Signaling in to Randall Cunningham. Marion said one of the things we have to do is to be able to run the ball a little bit,
so that they don't get too many in these situations where they're about 3rd and 6.
3rd and long. From the spread. Here come the Giants. Cunningham for Quick. Oh, he had it and lost it just at the last second. Perry Williams was back there with him on the coverage.
It looked like Quick had to wait a little for that one. He really makes a pretty good move here. We'll see him. He comes across. Perry Williams is staying outside. He has him from the outside. Watch him. It looked like Williams started to stumble there, but I think that Quick had him, but he had to wait a little while. The ball was thrown short. Had that ball been out there, it could have been a touchdown.
Jaworski will hold for McFadden from 42 yards out, barefooted. And yes, the first points of the day. With 9:32 left in the third quarter, the Eagles take the lead 3-0. The Giants nothing. The Eagles trying to even their record at 2-2. And the Giants trying to go 3-1. Paul McFadden, the kicker, has scored 22 of the Eagles' 28 points. They only have scored one touchdown. This is the 4th game of the year. This one goes side over side and bounces out of bounds. Second time he's done that. While they bring it back, let's run down some of the other scores around the NFL today. Dallas still leading Houston 7-0. They're now in the third quarter, as are we. New England 20. The Raiders 14. Minnesota 20-3 over Buffalo. Cardinals now 19-0 over Green Bay. Kansas City 21-0 over Seattle. And Detroit now leads Tampa Bay on a touchdown pass by Eric Hipple. 31-10 over the Bears over the Redskins. These are rather woeful times for Washington. Phil McConkey back deep for the Giants. By the way, Dallas in that game against Houston has sacked Warren Moon 7 times already. They bring a lot of people at you.
They do from that sub defense. You know, they're going to a lot more blitz than those Cowboys.
McConkey handles this one at about the 15. By Bernard Wilson.
And Wilson not made that tackle, though McConkey had a pretty good idea. What McFadden tries to do is to kick to one side of the field, and everyone runs down to cover on that side. McConkey was bringing the ball out to this side, and the only guy there was Wilson.
Giants out quickly. Bobby Johnson split wide to the left, Manuel to the right. Tomorrow, and he gets a couple. Ken Clark on the bottom of the pile. Morris Giants, 11 carries for 33 yards. They haven't been able to establish that running game. That word establish has become very important in the coaching vocabulary.
I'm a little surprised that they don't go to Rob Carpenter now. A fullback is always good once the defense gets worn down, a little tired.
Sims is going to throw it. Manuel out of bounds. Giants first down.
Lionel Manuel did a nice job of holding out there. You know, he had a hold to catch a ball, so he had both feet in bounds. You see, he's going to get forced here to the sideline a little. He's running an out pattern, but right there, he just has to hold a little, delay a little, be able to get that right foot in just before he goes out of bounds. Just slide it along the carpet.
First and 10 and Sims. Gives again to Morris. Is hammered by Mike Reichenbach. No gain.
Mike Reichenbach, he played that the way you're supposed to play the cutback. One thing a linebacker never wants to do is get square with a running back. You always stay a little inside him, and if he tries to cut back, there you are. Watch 55 here. See, he doesn't get even. He stays right there, right inside him, so when Morris cuts back, he's cutting into him.
Got himself planted. Sims back to throw. Byron Williams moves down to the Eagles 31 before West Hopkins can bring him down. A gain of 19 right between two Eagles, and Sims drilled it.
Well, of course, here's the guy that they would like to get catching more balls, and that's Byron Williams. He has the most speed on the team. Here they're bringing him in the zone. You see right between the two guys there, under control, makes the catch. But he's the guy with the best speed, and they would like to get the ball to him deep.
They put it down at the Eagles 32, first and 10. Sims on first down going. Knocked away by Albert Fowles. Intended for Lionel Manuel.
I think when Roynell Young went out of the lineup with that pulled groin muscle, that the Giants probably decided that they wanted to work on his replacement, Fowles, and Fowles has really been up to it here. Watch him. He makes a good burst of the ball, gets that right arm and hand over the shoulder, and yet doesn't interfere.
That makes it second and 10. 7:20 first half. Adams to throw it. Knocked away. Again, it's Albert Fowles. He's back there. Pass intended for Byron Williams.
Well, that's the play that the Giants have been set up. Watch what they're trying to do here is take Williams' speed and get to the post in here. They're going to take the tailback punt, and put it out here to George Adams, get the flow coming this way, and throw back. But the Eagles weren't fooled. Watch Adams. He starts like it's a run. Back here on this back side, you have Williams running the post. But I'll tell you, they reacted to it pretty well.
That makes it third and 10. Flags are down. Penalty flags are down. And down in a hurry. They never got the play going.
False start, 63, offense, third down.
Carl Nelson.
That's what happens. We see it on the left of the screen there. Those tackles, they know they have to pass protect, and they want to get set up. They want to get started, so sometimes they get back a little before the ball snap.
Giants have been penalized 5 times for a total of 71 yards today. That'll make it third and 15. On the spread. Sims on a scramble. Will not get the first down, but perhaps does get in field goal range, and they'll try it. Fowles. Albert Fowles is the man who put Sims on the artificial turf.
I think it was a combination here for Sims of one, not having all the time he needed, but not having anyone open now. You see, he was trying to throw, and then by the time he got set, the rush was on him. So he says, I got to try and get up to get us in field goal position anyway.
From 49 yards, Atkinson will try to put this game into a tie. That'll get there. And that's good. 3-3. Field goal by Jess Atkinson evens the game at 3. The Giants, Philadelphia. Those figures wouldn't indicate that this has been a good game, but it has been. Giants took 8 plays to get their 3. Atkinson kicks off. Herman Hunter waits 1 yard deep in his own end zone. Comes out of the pack. And Hunter gets to about the 24. Robbie Jones was the first Giant, number 51, to make contact and bring him down. Giants 3, Eagles 3. Cunningham, the Eagles rookie quarterback, is 6 out of 10 for 79 yards. Both of the Eagles' speed receivers, 81 and 82, Kenny Jackson and Mike Quick, come wide to the right. They throw away the option play. They get a good bounce. And Herman Hunter runs out of bounds. An Eagle is shaken up on the other side of the field. And it's the quarterback, Cunningham.
Right, it was Cunningham. I wonder if he tripped on this option. You see, he fakes here to Haddix, and now he's going to come down the line here, and he's going to pitch out. I'll see what happened. He tripped there, and he looked like he probably got kicked in the ankle or something because he didn't get up, but he's up now and fine.
Hunter had no choice. The Giants were over in pursuit. They lose 7 yards, 2nd and 17. There goes Quick in motion. Cunningham back to throw. If he has time. He was in the grasp of Carl Banks. Jim Burt was back in the area. 6 sacks by the Giants, and they'll take it all the way back.
You know, here's one of the things that Terry Bradshaw brought up once. He says they have this in the grasp rule, but they ought to let the quarterback decide. Do you want the rule or not? And if you don't call me for being in the grasp, because I can run, I can get rid of it. And maybe Cunningham may be that kind of guy. You know, where a quarterback can decide if he wants the protection or not. He's saying, I'm going to move, I'm going to look, I'm going to find something, but don't call that rule on me.
3rd and long, very long. Cunningham coming out of the end zone and firing deep. Intended for Jackson, knocked away by Perry Williams.
That was a good job by Perry Williams because, as Bill Parcells said, he said, what we taught our defensive backs is when he starts to run, don't look at Cunningham. Always look at your receiver. And you can see that's exactly what Perry Williams did. He didn't look back to see where Cunningham was. He just stayed with Quick.
So Michael Horan stands back 5 yards deep in his own end zone. He's had a tough day kicking. No wind to speak of. And McConkey will stand at midfield, and the Giants, if everything goes according to their wishes, should get the ball in pretty good shape. High kick that McConkey will handle. The flag is down. McConkey handles it midfield. Gets away from one, gets away from two, and is swarmed on by the rest. Rich Training made the stop. Good was also there. See what the penalty flag is down about.
Well, you know, it was down there by Major Everett, you know, who's one of the best cover guys in the NFL. The Giants had a couple guys on him, and there was a little scrap going on down there. And I bet it's against the Giants for holding them up, or, you know, holding, or one of those types of things.
Holding against the Eagles.
Well, then it was probably the guy trying to get away from it.
Maybe so. Now they're saying something else going on. Holding against the Giants. Michael Horan, the punter. Let's see what happens to him.
Holding 34 on the receiving team. First down.
At any rate, the penalty's offset, and the Giants have the ball at their own 49. Philadelphia have Pat Summerall and John Madden. Score is tied 3-3. Giants got a field goal. The Eagles got a field goal. And that's been it. First down passing attempts on first down again. Completed 4 out of 8 for 51 yards. First down again. He has a man open. It's Rob Carpenter. Carpenter struggles into Eagle territory. Reichenbach made the stop.
That's not a bad play. That guy is open a lot. It's on a play pass, and what Sims did is he faked the ball to Carpenter. Then the linebackers see that, then they see it's a fake, then they turn and run, and then they sneak Carpenter in behind the linebacker.
Johnson is split wide to the left, and Manuel is on the other side. And again, Sims is going to go to work on first down. Forget about that running business. To the 30. Lionel Manuel. And they're back in field goal range again. Fowles was the tackler.
The Giants are having pretty good success in this area, these deep ends, because the Eagle defense in their zones get deep. You see the deep man fouls. He's going deep. The other safety is going deep. Manuel is able to come up and then come underneath, and there's a pretty big hole in there underneath.
The linebacker couldn't get back in time. Byron Williams in motion. And George Adams, the ball carrier. For an NFL update then. Let's go back to our New York studio, and here's Brent Musburger. That certainly is somewhat of a surprise. The Giants from Philadelphia is a bit of a surprise, too, as they're tied 3-3. Carpenter is the lone setback. Sims back to throw it. Has a man open. Tight end Mark Bavaro. Touchdown Giants. The rookie tight end.
The second catch of Bavaro's career, NFL career. He sure made a good one out of that. That's the same thing that Hasselbeck caught a couple weeks ago. It's just a tight end straight down the field. See, he's the second guy in here, gets a release. He makes a little move on the linebacker, then he comes straight up the seam. Corner tries to get off, and he can't get over there. That's not a bad reaction for a rookie's first time.
Extra point is good, and the Giants have taken now a 10-3 lead. Touchdown by Bavaro. They have 3:58 left to play in the third quarter. Left in the third quarter, Mark Bavaro, his first NFL touchdown. And the Giants have the lead 10-3. He has done an excellent job blocking, Bavaro has. But they have missed, frankly, the receiving of Zeke Moa, and now he's coming into his own. Atkinson's kickoff. Herman Hunter at the 1. Got some room. Hunter is finally stopped at the 40 by the kickoff man, Jess Atkinson, on a good tackle.
I'll tell you, he had to. You know, one of the weaknesses in the Giants' coverage, I think, is Don Hasselbeck. It's hard to get a 6'7" guy coming downfield. And you watch him, he's going to be the guy that they're going to eventually run at. You see right there? He gets blocked to the outside, and then Hunter is able to cut inside. There was a big hole over there in that right side.
The Eagles have the football, their own 40, just outside of it. 2:47 left, third quarter. Quick is in motion. Reception to that call is not a favorable one.
Well, after the other team scores and you go down by 7, they want you to come out passing on first down. If the run is a good run, if they call the run and the guy makes 15, 20 yards, they like it, they cheer. But when you call a run and you only get back to the line of scrimmage, then they let it go.
And Carson, and it'll be 3rd and long. Giants come in with their pass rushing group and their extra defending group.
Tell you one thing that the Giant defense has done a lot better job today than the Redskin defense did a week ago, and that is not letting Cunningham scramble and run or pass off it for the big play.
Now they go with their four-man front. Taylor on a blitz. They flush him out of the pocket. Cunningham is chased by George Martin. Going deep for Jackson. Incomplete. Terry Kennard back there with Herb Welch.
Cunningham was really chased on this play, and he was really leveled over here in the sideline. Just as he threw the ball, it was into double coverage. But watch the hit that he's going to take over here from Lawrence Taylor, 56, chasing him from behind, and George Martin. You see Martin, 75, coming down the line, making the cutoff here. Now, what Taylor's going to come in, he throws that, and they really both hit him a shot that knocked him out of bounds.
They also got him on the bounce, too. Horan back to kick. McConkey standing at his own 16-yard line. Flag down. McConkey for the fair catch. The ball goes out of bounds, but penalty markers back at the line of scrimmage. Tom Dooley, the referee.
I saw the Giants sideline signaling here to tell them to kick it again.
Illegal motion. Kicking team. Repeat the down. Fourth down.
So whatever it is, they're going to make them kick it again.
Illegal motion. Here's Horan, the punter. Watch what he does back here.
I'll tell you, he made a nice move here, coming off, getting that ball down. You know, that low snap, but getting it back up there to get it off against the rush.
Looked like Ozzie Smith handling that. So they'll punt it again. McConkey for the fair catch. To 21. That next Saturday there is college football, of course, on CBS. You'll see the Michigan State Spartans against the Iowa Hawkeyes, who demolished Iowa State yesterday, 57-3. Next Saturday, at 2:30 Eastern Time, right here on CBS. A lot of surprises in college football yesterday. Those Hawkeyes are pretty good. Sims to Joe Morris. Tell you, John, that Eagle defense has been out there a long time today. They look to be wearing down just a bit.
I think they are. I think they're starting to go through that now. And this is a time where you usually, if you can put a good running game together here, you can get that final wear out done.
2nd and 6, and here goes Sims back to throw. Under pressure, throws high. Intended for Morris. Covered by Anthony Griggs.
You know, it's interesting that this week the Eagles have Reggie White for the first time, who would have been a #1 draft choice had he not signed with the USFL. At the same time they lost, they traded Dennis Harrison, who was a holdout. They traded him to the Rams this week. Jerry Robinson also came in. Their other linebacker's been holding out. They say that they'll probably trade him next week.
Albrecht in motion. Here is George Allen. Close to a first down. That's a play that they had worked on considerably. Kentucky special is what they call it. Houston has tied Dallas. You heard Brent Musburger perhaps a minute ago say that they had blocked a punt. They got a field goal out of it. And the Oilers and the Cowboys are tied at 10-10. St. Louis 26-7 over Green Bay in the third quarter. Packers having their problems. And And the Bears rolling over the troubled Redskins 38-10. Didn't think you'd see that happen to the Redskins, did you? They're measuring here at Veterans Stadium. First down, Giants.
Yeah, as you said, Pat, that last play was called the Kentucky Special. They put it in for George Adams, and it was a third down draw situation. Bill Parcells was telling us yesterday that in that situation, Tony Galbraith had always been running a draw. So now they put him out of the backfield and brought Adams back. Since he went to Kentucky, they gave it the name. And those guys love that play when you called it play after their name.
Oh, yeah. That's Carpenter over the right side for about 5. Anthony Griggs on the bottom of the pile. The clock continues to run with a minute and a half left to play in the third quarter.
Well, you know, we're talking about this wearing down, and I think that the thing that wears you down is when your defense is out there for a long period of time at the same time. You know, when you start getting first downs, keep them out there, keep getting first down.
Second and 5. It's Morris. Morris is cut down. He's close to another first down. Bernard Wilson. Speaking of wearing down, the Raiders have lost another quarterback. Now Rusty Hilger is their quarterback.
Here's the sweep of Joe Morris here. He's coming out to this side. A good block by his tight end, Mark Bavaro. That got him to the outside. Almost a first down. I tell you, it's been a tough time. You know, we were talking about those immobile quarterbacks, and of course Plunkett had the problem. He got the injury. Then Mark Wilson, he's not a real mobile guy either. And, you know, and he gets the injury, and now they're down to their third guy.
Mark Wilson injured an ankle, and that's the reason for Rusty Hilger. A lot of people have high thoughts of him. First down, Giants at their own 42. They lead 10-3 over the Eagles. Second win of the year. This is Carpenter. Carpenter spins around, and he got about 5 out of what started to be nothing. Reggie Wilkes on the bottom of the pile.
Well, that's when you like the fullback running, is once you do wear a defense down a little, once you can get your blockers on him, then you want to run your fullback, you know, and make them stay in there, make them take on those blocks and run that fullback right at him where he can cut off the blocks.
Phil Simms taking the stroll to the Giant bench. The Giants leading at 10-3. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Giants 10, the Eagles 3, and we now pause for word from your local station. 17 first downs. The Eagles have 8. The Giants have won 10 out of their last 11 when they were leading after 3 quarters. Now they have a chance. They're up in pretty good shape at their own 46-yard line to get themselves in range for some more points. Second and 5. Byron Williams moves in motion. They give it to Carpenter, who's confronted by a lot of Eagles. Greg Brown was the man who took him down.
Big Greg Brown, he was coming from that right defensive end spot. He's waiting for the cutback. Watch him. They start to the right. Now watch him. He's there on the back side. When Carpenter stops to cut back, there was Greg Brown waiting for him.
Reggie Wilkes was the Eagle who made him cut back. Greg Brown was waiting. Third and 11. Simms down to tie his shoe, and now he lines up in the spread formation. Simms is down. Reggie White just acquired that he's a player.
I'll tell you, he was on a stun on this thing. The end starts to the inside. He goes to the outside. See, 91 comes to the outside. Greg Brown's coming from the other side, and Reggie White gets him right around the ankle. I'll tell you, he's going to be a force. If he can play this well the first time he plays, we can go around mid-season. He'll really be going.
Landetta has time and gets gets off a dandy. Evan Cooper goes back, signals for the fair catch, and he did a heck of a job to catch it. 5-1 was the hang time on that one. Tremendous punt, 55 yards by Landeta. Debates, John, about which is the most important down. Look at this.
I've always thought that first down is the one that creates the second and third and creates that situation. Look what happened to the Eagles last week against the Skins. They were 6.4 yards on first down. Their loss to the Giants' first one, they were only 2 yards. And today on first down, 1.1. Now that's not enough to win.
That's pretty hard to operate in that situation. Here's Cunningham. He fakes. He throws. Incomplete. Intended for Kenny Jackson, but no good. He had time that time.
Well, what happens in today's football is if you don't have success on first down, then on second and third, you start getting all those situations, all those defensive backs, all those blitz, all those pass coverages, and it's hard for the offense to keep that under control.
Quick is split out wide to the right, but to the left this time. Garrity was to the right. Cunningham wheels away from Burt. Bought himself some time. But he doesn't get away from Harry Carson. Loss of 7. 7 sacks for the Giants.
And the Giants are doing exactly to Cunningham what Bill Parcells was saying they had to do yesterday. He said, you can't stop this guy from scrambling. You can't stop him from running. He's going to. But when he does, we have to come right down the line, and we have to be able to tackle him. That's the key. Not keeping him from doing it, but making tackles like Harry Carson makes here when he does do it.
Third down. Out of the spread is Cunningham. They need 15 for a first. Down the middle, incomplete. Intended for Quick. Incomplete. And the Eagles will have to punt.
This is a shotgun now. Now he does have pretty good protection there. He's able to come up over the top. He found the right guy. That was a good read. You know, he just threw it in there, and Quick wasn't able to get it. Maybe it was just an inch off.
Michael Horan, again, punting out of his end zone. This will be up there a long time, too. McConkey signals for a fair catch and makes it at his own 48. The score here at Veterans Stadium with 13:12 left to play is the Giants 10, the Eagles 3. Next Sunday, it begins with the NFL today. San Francisco 49ers against Atlanta. Philadelphia goes to New Orleans. Minnesota visits Los Angeles. John and I will be in Atlanta for the Falcons and the 49ers. Check your local listings as we come back to Veterans Stadium. Giants have the ball, their own 48. Handoff is to Carpenter. He gets 3. Ray Ellis up to make the stop.
You know, you wonder why with a 7-point lead, maybe that the Giants have gone to a conservative offense so soon. Well, I'm sure one reason is that the Eagles aren't a threat on offense. In fact, they haven't been a threat all season. They're in their 16th quarter of regular season football, and they've only scored 1 touchdown.
Carpenter is the lone setback. Sims goes back to throw. Looking, and finally goes down. A loss of about 4. Reggie White again. 4 sacks for Philadelphia.
This is going to be an expensive day for Reggie White. I was just reading that he is donating $300 to charity for every sack that he gets. So this is about a $1,000 day thus far for Reggie White. Look, he's right there. He makes a good move and has extension and quickness for a big guy. You know, his nickname is the Minister of Defense.
He is an ordained Baptist minister. Third down, Sims out of the spread formation. Here come the Eagles after him again. He can't find anybody. Sims just barely got it away. Bernard Wilson knocked it down. It was intended for Lionel Manuel. And the Giants will have to punt.
you call a defensive struggle, but I'll tell you, both defensive have played well today. You know, they've reacted to everything. They've hit hard. They've tackled well. They've done all the things that defenses have to do.
Landeta from his own 30, number 5. Herman Hunter. It took a long time. They took too much time to snap it. It's another good kick as Hunter watches Landeta's punt sail and go out of bounds at the 2.
I think one of the Giants moved, too, Pat.
False start.
False start, you're right.
52 offense. What's that?
Yeah, there was a lot of movement in there. Now, once the offense gets set, they can't move. Now, the defense can move across like that, but the offense can't move to hit them. That's a tough thing when someone's coming at you. You just put your hands up there.
Landeta this time from the 25. Trying to block it. Down on a heap, and there's the flag. He got off a tremendous punt again. With the Giants down at the 10. And Landeta went down as the Eagles try to block it.
Yep, and they're calling that one roughing the kicker. That time they came in, they hit Landeta, but they didn't get a piece of the ball. He's smiling. Watch him here now the ball goes there. The ball's free, I guess. And they give him an upside-downer deal there.
Personal foul, running into the kicker. 21 and 52 on a receiving team. First down.
Training. And Evan Cooper were the 2 Eagles. He did a heck of a job. Look at the comparison between these 2 guys today. Landeta, as I mentioned before, already leads the NFC in punting. It looks like he might lead the NFL in punting. Look at the difference. If you don't think that's a factor. Again, a mishandle. The exchange between Oates and Sims. That's something they got to work out.
And that's something that really upsets a coach. I mean, there's no excuse for that. I mean, you know, the most simple of things, the simplest thing you have to do is the exchange, and that has to become automatic. And in the last couple of games since Oates has been starting, they've really had too much trouble here. Now, it looked like he started to move. You see, sometimes when you get a nose tackle over you, it's tough. You start to block that guy, and you leave the ball there.
Second and 11. Sims with time. Sims with a completion. Lionel Manuel. The Giants will have a first down. 11:05 left to play.
That's a good move by Manuel because he's going to come in here and come into his right, but now watch him come back. Right here, he starts to work back a little right there, and that was the step that got him in front of the 2 defenders. Had he went parallel or gained any, he would have left an interception angle there.
First down, Giants at the Eagle 38. Morris behind Maurice Trotter. Reggie White out again to make the stop. Joe Morris has had a busy day.
Joe Morris is a pretty compact guy. You know, he's only 5'7", but he's one of those guys who's not a little guy. 5'7", but he has good legs on him. You know, good body, good strength. I used to have a guy like that, Clarence Davis. You know, he was a short guy, but not a little guy. Very strong.
McConkey is split out wide to the right this time. The Eagles shift their defense a bit. Sims goes back to throw. Has time. McConkey. He gets out of bounds. Elbert fouls. Enough for a first down.
Everyone seems to pick on McConkey. I think it's because, you know, he's not the biggest guy in the world, but remember we saw in Green Bay, was in a fight on the sideline, and guys are always grabbing him. He's out of bounds here. Look, they're still going to grab him, throw him down to the ground.
Good protection. Sims had that chance to step up. First down, Giants, the Eagle 20. Give this to Morris, who stumbles over the left side, but nevertheless gets about 5 or 6 yards. Bernard Wilson made the
Morris made a great stumble in there, or it was a cut because it was off his left foot. I think Morris is starting to get a little worn down himself there. But I tell you, it was a heck of a stumble or a cut because it put him back inside again.
He waved his hand as if he needed some relief, and he gets it. He's carried 16 times for 53 yards.
But he's going to start out to the left, and then he makes a move out there, and then right back in there. And it was a little stumble, but that stumble was the thing that got him through the hole.
Right.
That's when you get some pretty good talent. You know, when you can get a good stumble, when you can stumble and stumble through a hole, the soft spot in the hole.
Here's Adam. And he hammers down inside the Eagle 10. Reggie White again on the stop. Maurice Carthen, a good block out in front, and as Bill Parcells says, he can dust you.
I'll tell you, and this is a dust job on this. Watch Carthon right here. He's right in front of Adams, and you'll see him here, number 44, and he's going to, here he is right here, leading Adams, and watch the block that he gets here that springs Adams to the outside. This is what you call a collision. Boom! Roll him right over and let that tailback bounce out.
That's a little bit more than a dusting. It's a first down. Reggie White is hurt. Number 91 is down for the Eagles. Giants lead it 10-3. Philadelphia 3. Reggie White appears to be okay as the Giants come back with a first down. First and goal it is. Carpenter hammers to about the 5, maybe the 6. They never do get him down, but they do get him stopped. Did you see, John, what was wrong with Reggie White?
What happened is he was in on that tackle on the sideline, and he just got the wind knocked out of him. That's what they're doing there. They're just checking him over, giving him a drink of water, and I'm sure he's okay.
Second and goal from the 6. McConkey comes sprinting out and off the field. Sims back to throw, looking in the corner. Bobby Johnson was the intended receiver. Herman Edwards was beaten, but Johnson couldn't find the handle. It was a little high.
Phil Sims is looking back to see if the sun was in Johnson's eyes, because watch Sims. He's watching Johnson all the way. He comes off Edwards. He just gets him out there. The ball's in his hands. He just dropped that. Johnson knows that Sims was looking at the sun to give him an excuse.
Third down and goal from the 6. Just over 8 minutes left to play. Sims 14 out of 24. Back to Morris. Joe Morris. Yard, but they'll have to settle for a field goal. Here comes Jess Atkinson out.
I think in a game like this, a defensive battle we have, that a field goal is a pretty good play here. With a score 10-3, a touchdown by the Eagles could tie him, but this will put them where they have to have 2 scores with 7 minutes to go.
Reggie White is back in the Eagle defense, by the way. Jeff Rutledge is the holder. Atkinson the kicker. He missed it. No good. He just pulled it. Everything else looked right.
And you know why Bill Parcells is so upset there? Because he's thinking, had we had that one, that would have put the icing on it. Now we didn't get it. We still have our work cut out for us here in this last this last 7 minutes.
The Eagles get the ball at their own 20. They've got some work to do. Giants have played good defense all day. Cunningham. Chased and handled by Harry Carson. While we have a moment, as they come back to huddle, let's check some of the other scores. Fourth quarter now in Houston, and the Cowboys and the Oilers are tied 10-10. The Raiders, Lyle Alzado recovered a fumble in the end zone, and the Raiders lead New England 21-20. Jaworski comes in. Cunningham limping on the far sideline is out of the game.
Looked like he injured his ankle on that last play, Pat, on that last tackle.
This Jaworski can't be warned.
But he's experienced.
Second down and 5. He gives to Jackson. And Jackson is picked up by Lawrence Taylor. He had some room if he could have eluded that tackle.
You know, it was ironic. Bill Parcells was saying last night, he said, I'm not going to say that I'm glad that Randall Cunningham is playing, or I'm not glad Jaworski is. He said, but you know the experience of Jaworski, he said he's played us a lot. He said it's kind of nice seeing him on the bench.
Third down and 3, and Jaworski will operate out of the spread formation. The Giants gave him fits 3 weeks ago at Giant Stadium. Jaworski gets it to Spagnola. And Spagnola holds on. Andy Hedden brought him down, but Jaworski got that first down.
Well, I tell you, we talked about the Giants giving the Eagles fits, or Jaworski fits 3 weeks ago, 8 sacks. But today, Kevin Allen is doing a pretty good job over there. He was the guy that had all the problems, the rookie #1 draft choice for the Eagles. But today, he's been doing a pretty good job.
Looking over at the Eagle bench, Cunningham is up and jogging around. The injury was to his left ankle, but he could return. Jaworski trying to get it to Haddix, couldn't get it there. It didn't make any difference because Gary Reasons was right there with him.
I'll tell you, I'm sure that this is one thing. The reaction that Jaworski had after he was replaced after the first game was one that he went up to Cunningham and he said, hey, big guy, he said, I'll do everything I can to help you. He said, that's a decision that hurts me, but you didn't make it and I didn't make it, so we'll get along. I think the whole team respects Ron Jaworski for that.
They all say so. Second and 10. Jaworski back to throw. Has time. Has the receivers. Quick. Mike Quick gets an Eagle first down. There's a Giant injured. It's Terry Kennard struggling back to his feet. And he just got the wind knocked out of him, it would appear. 14-yard gain, an Eagle first down.
I think Kennard didn't expect Quick to turn into him and bump him like he did. I think he expected him to stay facing the quarterback, and Quick made a quick turn and went right into Kennard, and he wasn't expecting it.
Quick is out wide to the left. Garrity is out wide to the right. It's Jackson. Nothing there. Reasons. Carson. Lawrence Taylor. Kennard is stung again, it would appear.
Here's the thing on anything that's a sweep, what you want your defensive line to do in linebackers is work straight down the line of scrimmage. Don't go where the guy is, but go to a point where he's going to be and cut him off at the pass. That's exactly what the Giants did.
Lawrence Taylor played it as it should be played. They lost a yard at 2nd and 11. They have Taylor over on the left side coming on a blitz. Haddix picks him up. Does a good job. Spagnola incomplete. Perry Williams, the defender.
I tell you, he had the right idea, Jaworski did. The Giants were in that zone where they were working to the outside, and he put his tight end, John Spagnola, right up the hash mark. Just didn't get it to him. But the idea was good.
That'll make it 3rd and 11 on conversions today. The Eagles are 5 for 16.
This is where the Giants gave the Eagles so much trouble in the first game, was this shotgun formation.
Taylor this time is over on the right side and looking like blitzing, and he does. Jaworski gets away from Marshall. Pass incomplete, intended for Quick. Elvis Patterson right there with him, and the Eagles will have to punt. Marshall applied the heat. It's dead at the 1 or 2 yard line. McConkey faked as if to catch it, let it sail over his head, and it rolls dead at the 2. Giants lead at 10-3 with 3:58 left. Randall Cunningham over walking around behind the Philadelphia bench, but Ron Jaworski is warming up.
And I would bet that Marion Campbell will stay with Jaworski the rest of this game. The way Jaworski is warming up there, he looks like he's been told that, doesn't he?
He sure does. Meantime, the Giants have the football at their own 4-yard line. 1st and 10 from there. And Sims out of the end zone, going to work quickly. And Sims fires. It's almost picked off by the Eagles' Rich Training. They're saying safety, are they not?
I think so. I think he was in the grass, Pat, is what they're saying. That he was in the grass.
No.
No, he's saying 2nd down. Oh, the referee didn't blow the whistle, so he wasn't in the grass. But again, throwing out of your end zone, if you get sacked there, you get in the grass there, or you have a penalty there in the end zone, that's 2 points. Let's watch it again here. You can see he is in the grass, but the referee didn't call it. Of course, had the Eagles intercepted, they wouldn't have wanted it.
No more chances. They give to Carpenter, and he's cut down at the line of scrimmage by Greg Brown. Gary Cobb was also there.
This is a big play for the Eagle defense and the Giant offense, because if the Giants don't get a 1st down here, the Eagles are assured of good field position. You know what I was talking about? The tough thing passing out of your end zone is not only getting sacked, but if you get caught for a penalty in the end zone, it's 2 points.
Reggie White back in action. Joe Morris and Rob Carpenter, the 2 running backs, and Sims is going to work again. The ball goes straight up in the air. It's picked off by Herman Edwards. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Turn of events. Herman Edwards has haunted the Giants over the years. Boy, that's a name that Giant fans will never forget.
And they may hear a new name today, Reggie White, too.
That ties the score at 10-10. Look at this.
171 here, Reggie White, Pat. I think it was him. He's getting the push right up the middle, right here on Sims. You see, he starts in there. It was him in the bottom, and then there was someone on the top. Maybe it was Tom Struthers, but they really hit Phil Sims just as he threw the ball.
Here's Clark coming here. And White. Wellington Mara, Harry Hughes in front of him, George Young on his right. I'm sure they can't believe what's going on.
I'll tell you, it goes back to that missed field goal. When the Giants missed that field goal, that made an entirely different game out of it. Kept the Eagles within 1. Then that big punt down there put him down. There was another big play. And those little things like that just change the game. You got a different football game here.
McFadden's kickoff is handled by Tony Galbraith. Step back in the end zone. The Eagles are down, and the Giants are down at their own 15. Aaron Brown was the first man down. There's a Giant player still down.
That was real good coverage by the Eagles. You know, Tony Galbraith had to bring that ball out, Pat. I don't Had the ball been in the end zone, he can stay, but he caught it outside, went back in. Now he has to bring it out. So there was no decision there on that return.
Joe Morris, who was injured, he seems to be okay now, walking off a little slowly, but seems to be all right. The Giants will have it at their own 16. First and 10. Herman Edwards. Over the years, he has really, really haunted the Giants. This crowd at Veterans Stadium coming alive as the Eagles have pulled even. It's 10-10. 2:52 remaining. Adams is the running back. Sims gives to him. Adams is hammered after a gain of maybe 2 by Bernard Wilson and Mike Reichenbach.
Isn't it something, you know, Herman Edwards, you talk about how tough he's been on the Giants over the years, 9 of those years, but remember coming out of San Diego State, he was a free agent. He was one of those guys who's played a long time and wasn't even drafted.
Second down and 8. Sims back to throw, has time. Ball is knocked away at the last second by Reggie Wilkes, intended for Mark Bavaro, the tight end.
Well, they got Bavaro down that seam once before. This time, the strong side linebacker, 51, Reggie Wilkes, stays with him, runs with him, and makes a pretty good play there. You know, they always say try and get a tight end or a back isolated on a linebacker. Well, they don't always win that.
Third down and 7 or 8. Sims with plenty of time this time. Intended for Lionel Manuel, and it's not there.
I'll tell you, it was there, though. Lionel Manuel should have caught that ball. Looked like it went right through his hand. The Giants have had a few of those today. You know, you look back at all those things, Bobby Johnson dropping one in the end zone. You look back at the missed field goal. Those things always come back to haunt you.
Mandetta doesn't get all of this one. The ball bounces backwards and goes out of bounds. Finally, on the far side of the field, Larry Flowers watches it bounce away from him, and the Eagles will have it in Giant territory. You think that's only 24 yards. You remember the year when the Giants had the Eagles beaten at Giant Stadium, and they fumbled, and Herman Edwards picked up the ball and won for the Eagles. Back at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, the Eagles have tied the score on a bizarre play. Ron Jaworski is now the quarterback after Randall Cunningham injured his ankle. Sims was hit by Reggie White in his own end zone. The ball popped straight up, and the ever-present Herman Edwards picked it off and ran in for an Eagle touchdown. Quick is wide to the left. Jackson is wide to the right. Less than 2 minutes remaining. Jaworski, Jackson. He is hammered, holds on. Hit by Elvis Patterson.
See Kenny Jackson on that. He jumped up and said, "You didn't hurt me. Here, you want the ball?" But that has to hurt. I mean, that has to loosen some fillings in there when you get hit like that. But the first thing Jackson thought of was, well, he didn't hurt me. Here, take this one. Patterson's giving him that stare down look. Yeah, how was that in, huh?
That was pretty good. They got 8 yards. They're almost in field goal range. Ernest Jackson hammers for a first down before Jim Burt can stop him. Now they are definitely in field goal range. Timeout, Philadelphia.
This is an interesting thing here now, because the two things the Eagles want to do is want to stay in field goal, you know, maybe go for a touchdown, but the third thing, or the second thing, is not let the Giants get the ball back. In other words, run off enough time so that they they don't have time to get the ball.
A minute and 3 seconds remaining. Giants 10, Philadelphia 10. Minute and 3 seconds left to play. The Giants, if you look at the offensive standpoint, Bill Parcells, I'm sure, is very dismayed by the developments here. But if you look at the yards and the first downs, the Giants should be ahead by 3 touchdowns.
Well, they missed too many opportunities.
Score is 10-10. And the Eagles are at the Giant 29. Jackson again. He hammers to the 25. Carl Banks on the stop.
I'm sure the Eagles now are going for the field goal. They're just going to let the clock run down. The Giants took that timeout. The Eagles want to let the clock run down so that they can take that field goal shot with no time.
58 seconds remaining on the clock. Paul McFadden has made one today from 41 yards out. He has scored, as we showed you before, the great percentage of the Eagle points. This is in rain.
He looks confident there. You know, those goggles, he got poked in the eye last week against the Redskins, and so he's wearing protective goggles, a little different look for him.
Well, that'll help you be confident.
That's right. They can't poke him in the eye anymore.
This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any broadcast, rebroadcast, or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Philadelphia Eagles and the National Football League is prohibited.
See Bill Parcells there. That's always frustration when the score's tied, they have the ball in your own territory, and there's not much you can do about it except use all your timeouts.
Giants 10, Eagles 10. The Giants shut them out 21-0 3 weeks ago. Jaworski to Jackson. That'll make it 3rd down and about 5. Timeout, Giants again. They only have 1 left.
You know, one of the guys that are very big in this Eagle thing is Mike Horan, that punt that he got. I mean, that's the thing that set that whole deal up. When Horan punted the ball down to the 2-yard line, really backed the Giants up. They were able to get the touchdown down there. But he's the guy that, you know, deserves a lot of the credit.
He had a rather disappointing day up until that kick. That one in a clutch. The executive producer of the NFL on CBS is Terry O'Neill. The senior producer, Charles Milton III. Hope he's holding up. Produced by Bob Stinner this game. Directed so capably by Sandy Grossman. Associate producer Joan Vetrano. Joe Tier, longtime good friend, and all the rest of our technical staff. They make it easy for us, don't they?
They sure do. A lot easier than this guy has it. You know what happens? You know why you drink? It's not that you're thirsty. When you just get that cotton mouth. You get a little tight all over, including the throat.
I remember. Jackson right in the middle again. That's what they're going to do. Burt and Marshall. Spagnola in an exchange of words and shoves and hands with Lawrence Taylor. And here comes the Eagle field goal team.
You know, one thing here, Pat, that the Giants did was smart move is take those timeouts, because if they do make the field goal, or if they don't make the field goal, the Giants are still going to get the ball back.
4th down. Clock is stopped with 37 seconds remaining. From the 30 to the 39, McFadden is 3 out of 3. From the 40 to the 49, he's 2 out of 2, which means he hasn't missed this year inside the 50. If you look at the rest of the people who are responsible for making, as we said before, our job like a vacation. McFadden standing all back by himself. himself. Barefooted, right-footed kicker like his predecessor here, Tony Franklin. Unlike Franklin, yesterday when we were here at practice watching the Eagles, Franklin used to keep a shoe on when he wasn't kicking. This guy does it like this all the time.
He just goes around like this all the time. It's interesting that not only does he not go in the huddle, but he doesn't even go near the huddle. He doesn't want to hear what those guys are saying in there. You know, like, I hope he makes it. I hope he keeps his head down. I hope he concentrates. I hope it, all this. He stays back. And when you guys get through all that talk, I'll come up just to kick it.
This will be from 42 yards away to give the Eagles a lead. Jaworski is the holder. Won't be far enough. No good. No good. Do you like overtime?
I love overtime. I'm sure the Giants do too. McFadden doesn't. He looked so confident before that thing. And here, it's a good snap, good hold. Everything's coming up. It's just going to hook a little to the outside. That's it. There's the kicking coach, the coach of the team that's doing the kicking.
Marion Campbell.
There's the coach of the guy that's being kicked against.
He hopes that he might be the kickee instead of the kicker against the next time it happens.
And the Giants figure that at the end of this fourth quarter, they had enough bad things happen to them. They're just going to run out the clock and hope for a new start in overtime.
Sims heads for the sidelines. Something, I'm looking down at the Giant bench, John, down in front of us. Something would appear to be wrong with Lawrence Taylor. Looks like they're administering to his left leg, and we're going to go into overtime. There is Lawrence Taylor. They've got the ice bag already there. He's doing most of the pulling down and checking with the socks himself, but it's his left ankle.
Well, whatever it is, he's trying to get it well quick. They know that right now there's a 3-minute break. They get a 3-minute timeout. They're going to flip again, flip the coin again. Each team gets 2 timeouts, and they play until someone scores.
Jaworski out. Major Everett, Harry Carson, and Clark, the nose tackle.
Philadelphia wins the toss and will receive.
Philadelphia won the toss, and they'll take the football. Over on the sideline, Elvis Patterson seems to be having some problems as well. We'll be back in overtime. Matt Summerall and John Madden, the Giants 10, the Eagles 10. Lawrence Taylor over on the sideline. They went out to toss the coin. The Eagles won the toss. They'll take the football. Giants will kick off. Check the overtime records of these two teams. Philadelphia's never won. They wound up in a tie once. They lost 3 times. The Giants 2-4-0. A lot of people, John, feel that this overtime format gives too much of an advantage to the team that wins the toss.
I never felt that way. I think that's wrong. I think the thing is, right now the pressure is on the Eagle kick return, and it's on the Giant coverage. Then when they snap the ball, it's going to be on the Eagle offense and the Giant defense. Some people would rather play defense first. They just have to do the job. I don't believe that you should get the ball again. I think it's right.
Hunter. Hammered. Larry Flower. Down in a hurry and doing the job.
And that's why Larry Flowers is on this team, number 37. Watch him. He's the first guy down there. He's going to go right through the blockers, right past blockers, find that return man, and get in there and get that shoulder on his right knee. Larry Flowers was cut during the preseason at the end of training camp and brought back just because of his ability in special teams. Now, that's a big play right there.
It certainly is. The Eagles will operate from their own 18-yard line. We're in overtime. 10-10. Haddix moves in motion. Jackson. Jim Burt. Harry Carson in group right in the middle. Bring him down. McGriff comes out. Martin comes in. 2nd and 8. Jackson got 2.
Because as we were talking earlier, if the Giants, they had the good cover. If they hold them here, then they're going to have the better field position and the ball.
Jaworski, the quarterback, with time, fires, intercepted. Elvis Patterson has the interception. Penalty marker is down. A flag is down. Patterson scores the touchdown. If the penalty is against the Eagles, it's all over. Patterson is down in the corner of the end zone being surrounded, but a penalty marker is down. Face mask. The contest is history. The flag was against the Eagles. The Giants win it. There'll be no extra point. 21-yard return. Elvis Patterson.
I tell you, they've talked all year about Elvis Patterson. Everyone's going to do this. Everyone's going to work on Elvis Patterson. The ball was tipped. He was just right there, back there playing zone. Makes a nice move there. The Giants know they got this thing won, and they're going to lead him into the end zone. And he's keeping that ball, too, huh? That's going to be a trophy, that thing. Watch your deflection here. Quick just got a hand on it, his left hand on it. Reasons blocked Quick after he missed it. Patterson made a little move, and he followed his buddies into the end zone.
Look at that convoy.
So there, it was an advantage to kick off in overtime.
Quick tipped the ball, and Elvis Patterson was in the right place at the right time when the Giants moved their record to 3-1, and Philadelphia goes to 1-3. Happiness among the Giant owners and administrators. Randall Cunningham reflects the opposite emotion. The Giants beat the Eagles for the second time in 1985. The score 16-10 on the interception and return by Elvis Patterson. Quite a game. Well, a very, very exciting ending to a low-scoring but exciting football game. The Giants 16, Philadelphia 10. The Eagles got it into overtime, but a deflected Phil Simms pass. Herman Edwards back in the picture again. And then the Giants got a deflection off the hands of Mike Quick. The pass thrown by Jaworski. Quick got a hand on it. Elvis Patterson came up with it and took it in for the touchdown. And the Giants win 16-10. Let's go back, John, and look at that touchdown one more time.
Well, the Giants in the zone defense here. We see Jaworski. He's looking. He sees Quick out there. It's in front of Quick. He can't catch it. He just gets his left hand on it. But that tips the ball up in the air to Patterson, who's sitting back in the zone.